They're the unsung giants of global trade. Massive floating cities carrying thousands of containers across oceans, pushing the limits of engineering and scale. These colossal vessels are the backbone of our modern economy, delivering everything from electronics to groceries in a single voyage. Today, we're counting down the 20 largest and most incredible container ships in the world. Let's dive in. Number 20, MSC Tessa. Delivered in 2023 as the first vessel of a new generation, MSC Tessa represents the changing future of global shipping. Built by China State Shipbuilding Corporation and operated by MSC, this enormous container ship became the flagship of the Tessa class, created to serve one of the world's most important trade corridors connecting Europe and East Asia. Its scale is difficult to imagine, stretching nearly 400 meters in length and approximately 61.5 meters wide. The ship extends across the ocean with a size comparable to almost 4 football fields placed end to end. From above, thousands of containers cover the deck in perfectly arranged rows, turning every voyage into a moving network of global commerce. And the numbers behind that scale are extraordinary. With a carrying capacity of 24,116 TEU, a single crossing can move more than 24,000 containers filled with electronics, industrial machinery, consumer goods, clothing, and the materials that keep economies operating every day. But what makes this vessel different isn't only capacity. Designed with advanced efficiency systems, it incorporates technologies such as a hybrid scrubber system, energy-saving devices, large diameter propellers, and an air lubrication system that releases bubbles beneath the hull to reduce resistance through the water. The result is lower fuel consumption, improved operating efficiency, and reduced emissions while transporting enormous volumes of cargo. Powered by a massive 2-stroke engine producing around 92,000 horsepower, the vessel can reach speeds of approximately 24 knots, helping keep cargo moving across some of the busiest maritime routes on Earth. Because the future of shipping isn't simply about building larger ships, it's about making giants move smarter. Number 19, MSC Arena. There comes a point where a ship becomes so large that it no longer feels like transportation. It feels like a floating city crossing the ocean. And when MSC Arena entered service in 2023, it showed the world just how far container shipping had evolved. This wasn't simply another massive vessel added to global trade routes. For a time, MSC Arena became the largest container ship ever built, a symbol of modern maritime engineering and the growing demand to move more cargo across greater distances with greater efficiency. Stretching nearly 400 meters in length and more than 61 meters in width, its size is difficult to fully understand until other cargo ships begin disappearing beside it. Viewed from above, the deck seems endless rows upon rows of containers arranged with remarkable precision, creating what looks like an industrial city floating across open water. Built by Jiangsu Yangzijang Shipbuilding Group in China and operating under the Liberian flag, MSC Arena was designed to push the limits of container shipping, and it did exactly that. Its greatest achievement lies in its carrying capacity. With an incredible capacity of 24,346 TEU, the vessel can transport more than 24,000 standard containers in a single voyage, surpassing previous records and setting a new standard for modern cargo transportation. Its design allows containers to be stacked in enormous formations, maximizing space and transforming each crossing into one of the most efficient shipping operations ever created. Inside those containers are the products that quietly shape everyday life: electronics, machinery, clothing, medical supplies, industrial equipment, and countless other goods moving between continents. Every voyage helps strengthen supply chains and keeps global trade moving across oceans most people never think about. But ships like MSC Arena are not only about becoming bigger, they represent a changing world. One demanding greater efficiency, larger capacity, and smarter global connections. And somewhere beyond the horizon, carrying thousands of containers across open seas, this floating giant continues moving the modern economy forward every single day. Number 18, HMM Oslo. Some ships are built to carry cargo. Others are built to redefine what modern shipping can achieve. When HMM Oslo entered service, it arrived as one of the most advanced mega-container ships of its generation, combining enormous scale with a design focused on efficiency and the future of global trade. The moment this vessel appears on the horizon, its size becomes impossible to ignore. Measuring nearly 400 meters in length and 61.5 meters in width, HMM Oslo stands among the largest container ships ever constructed, yet its purpose reaches beyond sheer dimensions. It was built to move massive volumes of cargo while adapting to the changing demands of the shipping industry. Constructed by Samsung Heavy Industries, this mega ship can carry an impressive 23,820 TEU, allowing a single voyage to transport tens of thousands of containers across major international trade routes. By delivering larger cargo loads in fewer crossings, vessels of this scale improve transport efficiency and strengthen links between global markets. Inside those containers are the products that support everyday life consumer goods, electronics, industrial equipment, manufacturing materials, and essential supplies traveling constantly between continents. Every journey helps sustain industries and maintain the movement of international commerce. Operating under the Panama flag, HMM Oslo became part of HMM's broader vision to introduce a new generation of environmentally focused container vessels designed to meet evolving global standards while supporting growing trade demand. HMM Oslo proves that modern shipping is no longer defined only by how much a ship can carry, but by how intelligently it carries the world forward. Number 17. Ever Alot. In container shipping, records rarely last for long, but when Ever Alot arrived, the industry paid attention. Entering service in 2022, this enormous vessel didn't simply join the world's fleet of megaships, it briefly became the largest container ship ever built, marking another leap in the scale of global maritime transport. Constructed by Hudong Zhonghua Shipbuilding for Evergreen Marine, Ever Alot stretches an astonishing 400 meters in length and 61.5 meters in width, placing it among the largest moving structures on Earth. From above, its deck appears almost endless rows of containers extending across the vessel with remarkable precision and scale. Its carrying capability is equally extraordinary. Designed to transport up to 24,004 TEU, Ever Alot can move thousands of containers in a single voyage loaded with electronics, machinery, automobiles, clothing, and countless products that support economies and daily life around the world. But the achievement of Ever Alot goes beyond breaking size records. Engineers developed the vessel with an advanced hull design intended to reduce resistance through the water, helping improve fuel efficiency and lower emissions during long-distance operations. Built primarily for the demanding trade routes connecting Asia and Europe, every journey is designed to move enormous volumes of cargo with greater effectiveness across some of the busiest shipping corridors in the world. More than a record-setting giant, Ever Alot reflects how modern shipping continues to evolve, combining engineering, efficiency, and extraordinary scale to keep global trade moving across the oceans every day. Number 16. MSC Michelle Capellini. Named in honor of Michelle Capellini, one of the leaders who helped transform MSC into a global shipping powerhouse, this giant represents more than engineering. It represents decades of ambition arriving in steel form. At nearly 400 meters long, 61.5 meters wide, and with a depth of 16.5 meters, this vessel ranks among the largest container ships ever built. Constructed by Yangzijiang Shipbuilding in China, it was designed for one purpose: move more cargo more efficiently across the world's busiest trade routes. And the numbers behind it are extraordinary. With a massive carrying capacity of 24,346 TEU, this ship can transport more than 24,000 containers in a single voyage. Stacked across its enormous deck are the products that quietly power modern life: electronics, industrial equipment, retail goods, manufacturing materials, and supplies traveling between nations every hour of every day. But ships like this do more than move containers. They shorten transport cycles, reduce shipping pressure, strengthen international supply chains, and keep economies connected across oceans. Every departure from port becomes part of a much larger system that supports industries, businesses, and millions of people worldwide. This vessel stands as proof that modern shipping isn't just about building bigger ships anymore. It's about building floating engines of global commerce capable of carrying the world forward. Number 15. HMM Algeciras. When HMM Algeciras entered service in 2020, it arrived at a moment when container ships were growing faster than ever before. As the first vessel in HMM's new generation of megaships, it became part of the largest class of container ships in the world at the time and reflected a major shift in the scale of global trade. Built for Korean shipping operator HMM, this giant stretches 399.9 meters in length and carries up to 23,964 TEU, placing it among the most capable container vessels of its era. But its importance was never measured by size alone. Every voyage turns the ship into a direct link between continents. Its routes connect major economic gateways across East Asia and Europe, serving ports including Rotterdam, London Gateway, Singapore, and Qingdao. Inside its container stacks travel the products that support everyday life electronics, manufacturing equipment, retail goods, industrial materials, and supplies moving continuously between global markets. Designed to maximize cargo movement at an extraordinary scale, HMM Algeciras helps reduce transportation pressure by moving greater volumes in fewer crossings while improving efficiency across international supply chains. Built by Daewoo Shipbuilding and sailing under the Panama flag, this vessel became more than a milestone in shipbuilding. It became part of a new generation that reshaped how cargo moves across the world's oceans. Every crossing is a reminder that modern trade depends not only on speed, but on ships capable of connecting entire economies. Number 14. OOCL Spain. Crossing 24,000 TEU wasn't just another record. It was a number the industry had spent years approaching. OOCL Spain became the ship that pushed beyond it. Built by Nanton Cosco KHI Ship Engineering, this mega container ship stretches 399.9 meters in length and 61.3 meters in width, placing it among the largest vessels ever constructed. But what made it stand out was its remarkable carrying capacity of 24,188 TEU, making it the first ship in its company's history to exceed the 24,000 TEU threshold. That achievement represented more than size. It reflected how container shipping continued evolving to move larger volumes of cargo without slowing global supply chains. History followed soon after as OOCL Spain became the first container ship with a capacity above 24,000 TEU to begin its maiden voyage from Hong Kong port before joining the important Asia-Europe LL2 service route, one of the busiest trade corridors in the world. Inside those containers are the products moving through everyday life: electronics, industrial equipment, retail goods, manufacturing components, and supplies traveling constantly between ports, factories, and consumers across continents. Yet capacity is only part of the story. Recognized by the American Bureau of Shipping with smart ship notations, OOCL Spain integrates intelligent operating systems designed to improve sailing performance, optimize operations, and increase fuel efficiency during long-distance voyages. OOCL Spain shows that modern shipping is no longer only about carrying more cargo. It is about using technology and scale together to move global trade more effectively. Number 13. MSC Gulsun. A giant built to move the world's economy across the oceans, this vessel stands among the largest container ships ever created. With an incredible carrying capacity of 23,756 TEUs, this massive container ship represents the scale and efficiency of modern maritime transport. Built by Samsung Heavy Industries and registered in Panama, it was designed not just to be bigger, but smarter. One of its most impressive features is its enormous 62-meter width, allowing it to carry containers in 24 rows side by side. This advanced design increases cargo capacity while improving fuel efficiency and helping reduce the overall carbon footprint per container transported. But its importance goes far beyond size. Ships like this are the backbone of global trade, transporting electronics, clothing, machinery, and countless everyday products across continents. Every journey helps keep supply chains running and economies connected, showing how these ocean giants quietly power life around the world. Number 12. Cosco Shipping Universe. By the time ships reach this size, they stopped feeling like ships at all. From a distance, this giant looks more like a moving skyline crossing the ocean. When this vessel entered service in 2018, it became one of the most impressive container ships of its generation, built to move enormous amounts of cargo while operating with greater efficiency across global trade routes. Stretching nearly 400 meters in length and approximately 58.6 meters wide, its scale is difficult to imagine until thousands of containers begin rising above the deck like rows of buildings. But this giant was designed for more than size. Equipped with advanced efficiency technologies, including high-performance turbocharging systems, it was built to reduce fuel use while maintaining massive carrying power. With the ability to transport more than 21,000 containers in a single voyage, every journey becomes part of a global network connecting manufacturers, businesses, and consumers across continents. Inside those containers are the products people use every day: electronics, machinery, industrial goods, and countless supplies moving silently across oceans. Because modern trade doesn't stop, and ships like this make sure it never does. Number 11. Hapag-Lloyd Berlin Express Class. What happens when one of the world's oldest shipping companies decides to build for the next generation instead of the next year? You get a vessel like this. Delivered in 2023, this giant became the flagship of a new class of container ships designed not only to carry enormous amounts of cargo, but to reshape how that cargo moves across the world. Operating between the Far East and Northern Europe, it became part of one of the most important trade networks on the planet. Stretching an incredible 400 meters long and 61 meters wide, this massive vessel holds up to 23,664 TEU, transforming a single crossing into a floating supply chain connecting factories, ports, businesses, and consumers across continents. But what makes this ship stand out isn't only capacity, it's the technology powering the journey. Equipped with dual fuel capability, it can already operate using LNG and is prepared for future alternatives such as e-methane, making it part of shipping's transition toward cleaner operations. Beneath the vessel sits a powerful man-main engine producing more than 75,000 kilowatts, allowing it to cruise across oceans at around 22 knots while moving extraordinary loads. Inside its endless rows of containers are the products that keep modern life running: electronics, industrial components, vehicles, retail goods, machinery, and materials flowing constantly between major economies. Every voyage strengthens supply chains, reduces transport bottlenecks, and helps global trade move at a speed and scale previous generations could barely imagine. This isn't just another mega ship, it's a glimpse into the future of world shipping, where bigger vessels are no longer enough. They also have to be smarter, cleaner, and ready for the next era of global commerce. Number 10. Ever Ace. From the shoreline, the containers seem endless. Row after row rises above the water until the vessel no longer looks like a ship at all, but a moving structure crossing the ocean. When this giant entered service in 2021, it immediately changed expectations across the shipping industry. For a time, it became the largest container ship in the world and proved that even the limits of modern cargo transportation could still be pushed further. Built as part of the Evergreen A-Class and operated by Evergreen Marine, the vessel represented a new generation of ultra-large container shipping. Constructed by Samsung Heavy Industries in South Korea, every detail was designed around one goal: move more cargo while maintaining efficiency across the world's busiest trade routes. Its scale feels difficult to process, stretching nearly 400 meters in length and approximately 61.5 meters wide. The vessel appears less like a ship and more like a floating industrial structure crossing open water. From above, containers extend across the deck in endless rows, creating the image of a moving city at sea. But records are never earned through dimensions alone. With a carrying capacity of 23,992 TEU, this vessel can transport nearly 24,000 standard containers in a single voyage. Inside them are the products that quietly shape everyday life: electronics, machinery, clothing, household goods, raw materials, and supplies moving continuously between continents. Every crossing reduces pressure on transport networks, strengthens supply chains, supports industries, and keeps global commerce moving. Some ships become larger, others change the scale of what the world believes is possible. Number 9. CMA CGM Jacques Saadé. What if one of the world's largest container ships was also designed with a cleaner future in mind? This massive vessel proves that modern shipping is no longer only about size. It's also about efficiency and innovation. With a carrying capacity of 23,112 TEUs, this giant ranks among the largest container ships ever built, while introducing a new approach to long-distance cargo transport. Constructed by the China State Shipbuilding Corporation, the ship stretches an incredible 399.9 meters in length, spans 61.3 meters in width, and stands about 78 meters high. Unlike many traditional container vessels, it uses liquefied natural gas, LNG, as its main fuel source, helping reduce emissions compared with conventional marine fuels. As one of 9 ships in its series, it reflects the company's investment in more sustainable shipping solutions. Beyond its record-breaking scale, vessels like this play a critical role in global trade, moving goods between continents and helping keep international supply chains fast, efficient, and connected. Number 8. OOCL Hong Kong. When this ocean giant entered service, it didn't just carry cargo, it helped redefine the limits of global shipping. Launched in 2017 by Orient Overseas Container Line, this massive vessel quickly became one of the largest container ships in the world, breaking beyond the 21,000 TEU mark and setting a new benchmark for container transportation. Built by Samsung Heavy Industries, the ship measures an incredible 399.87 meters in length, 58.8 meters in width, and 32.5 meters in depth. With the ability to carry 21,413 TEUs, it was designed to move enormous amounts of cargo efficiently across some of the world's busiest trade routes. Its most important role is connecting East Asia and Northern Europe, two major centers of manufacturing and consumption. By transporting thousands of containers in a single journey, this ship helps reduce shipping costs, improve trade efficiency, and keep global supply chains moving. From industrial equipment to everyday household products, vessels like this quietly support the flow of modern life across continents. Number 7. MOL Truth. At this level, being massive is no longer enough. The next challenge became building ships that could carry more while operating smarter. That's where this vessel stood out. Built by Imabari Shipbuilding in Japan and operated under Ocean Network Express, this giant measures nearly 399 meters in length and approximately 58 meters wide, giving it the ability to transport more than 20,000 containers across major trade routes. But beneath the steel exterior is where the real engineering happens. Advanced hull coatings reduce resistance through the water, while an efficient propeller and optimized engine system help improve fuel performance and lower emissions. Picture the moment this giant leaves port. Thousands of containers rise above the deck while the ship slowly moves toward open water like a floating city beginning another journey. Every voyage strengthens supply chains and connects businesses and industries across continents. Because the future of shipping isn't built only with size, it's built with smarter movement. Number 6. CMA CGM Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. Crossing the 20,000 container mark once sounded impossible. Then ships like this arrived and turned impossible into the new standard. When this giant entered service, it became a major milestone in modern container shipping, showing that global trade was no longer growing in small steps, but in massive leaps across entire oceans. Built by Daewoo Shipbuilding and Marine Engineering, this mega vessel stretches an incredible 399 meters long and 58.6 meters wide, placing it among the largest ships of its generation. As one of 11 second-generation Triple E-class vessels, it represented a new level of scale and efficiency for international shipping. Its true power is hidden in its carrying ability. With a massive capacity of 20,568 TEU, this vessel can move more than 20,000 containers in a single voyage. Every container becomes part of a much larger story: electronics heading to markets, machinery reaching industries, products filling warehouses, and supplies connecting people across continents. Operating under Maersk Line, this vessel became an important link in one of the world's largest shipping networks. Larger ships mean fewer total voyages, more efficient transport, and stronger global supply chains capable of supporting growing economies. But this vessel represents more than numbers and engineering. It marks the moment container shipping crossed into a new era where oceans became faster trade routes, ports became global gateways, and megaships became the invisible force moving the modern world forward. Number 5. Madrid Maersk. For years, moving more than 20,000 containers on a single ship seemed almost impossible. Then the industry crossed that line. When this giant entered service, it became one of the first vessels to prove that container shipping had entered a completely new era of scale. Built by Daewoo Shipbuilding and Marine Engineering, the vessel stretches nearly 400 meters long and approximately 58.6 meters wide, making it one of the largest container ships of its generation. With a carrying capacity exceeding 20,000 TEU, every voyage allows enormous volumes of cargo to move between major global trade routes with remarkable efficiency. From the shore, the scale feels unreal. Towering stacks of containers rise high above the deck, while the vessel itself seems to continue endlessly toward the horizon. Inside are electronics, industrial equipment, household products, machinery, and supplies moving between continents every day. Its importance was never only about becoming bigger. It showed that modern shipping could operate at a scale once thought impossible, and opened the door for even larger giants still ahead in this countdown. Number 4. MSC Mina. What does it take to keep millions of products moving across the planet every single day? Ships like this are part of the answer. Built for scale, speed, and efficiency, this massive vessel belongs to the Gulsun class and operates for the Mediterranean Shipping Company. With a remarkable carrying capacity of 23,656 TEUs, it stands among the largest container ships ever built. Constructed by Daewoo Shipbuilding and Marine Engineering, the ship stretches an incredible 399.8 meters in length and reaches 61 meters in width, dimensions that place it among the true giants of the ocean. But this vessel is more than an engineering achievement. It reflects the growing demand for faster and more efficient global transportation. By moving enormous volumes of cargo in a single voyage, ships like this help lower shipping costs and improve efficiency across international supply chains. From electronics and machinery to clothing and everyday goods, these ocean giants play a vital role in keeping global trade connected and the modern world running. Number 3. One innovation. The first thing people notice isn't the ship, it's the containers. Layer after layer stacked across the horizon until the ocean itself seems smaller than the vessel crossing it. When this giant entered service in 2023, it became more than another addition to global shipping. Built for Ocean Network Express and developed as part of the company's next generation of ultra-large container vessels, it represented a clear step toward moving more cargo with greater efficiency than ever before. Stretching nearly 400 meters in length and approximately 61.4 meters wide, this massive ship instantly became around 20% larger than previous vessels in the company's fleet, expanding both scale and carrying capability. But size was only part of the story. Designed with an advanced layout, the vessel allows containers to be loaded further forward on the ship, improving cargo efficiency and maximizing usable space. It also became the first in its class to apply technology aimed at reducing the propagation of brittle cracks while using ultra-thick, high-strength steel, an engineering step built to improve durability at enormous scale. And the numbers behind it are remarkable. With a carrying capacity of 24,136 TEU, a single voyage can transport more than 24,000 standard containers filled with technology, industrial equipment, consumer products, raw materials, and supplies moving continuously between continents. Powered by a massive engine capable of maintaining a service speed of around 22 knots. The vessel was built not only to carry more, but to keep global trade moving without slowing down. Its early routes connected some of the world's most important shipping gateways, turning every crossing into another link in the system that keeps modern economies connected. Because today, the world doesn't move only through roads and airports. It moves through giants like this, crossing the oceans every day. Number 2. MOL Triumph. Before today's record-breaking giants arrived, one vessel changed the direction of container shipping forever. When this ship entered service in 2017, it achieved something that once seemed impossible. It became the first container ship in the world to break the 20,000 TEU barrier. That moment wasn't just another milestone. It signaled the beginning of a new era. Built by Samsung Heavy Industries, this giant stretches nearly 400 meters in length, turning every voyage into one of the largest cargo movements ever seen at the time. But size alone wasn't enough. Engineers designed the vessel with advanced efficiency technologies, including a low-resistance hull, an optimized propeller system, and energy-saving features that allowed it to carry enormous loads while improving performance across long ocean routes. And the scale of those journeys is difficult to imagine. At full capacity, more than 20,000 containers travel together across the ocean, filled with electronics, machinery, clothing, industrial products, and supplies moving between countries every day. From above, the endless rows of containers create the appearance of an entire city floating across open water. This ship did more than break a record. It proved that container shipping could become something even bigger, and the industry never looked back. Number 1. Ever Glory. What does it take to build one of the most powerful container ships ever to sail across the world's oceans? The answer can be found in Ever Glory, a vessel that represents the scale and ambition of modern maritime engineering. Built in 2019 for Evergreen Marine as part of the Evergreen G-class fleet, this giant stretches nearly 400 meters in length and approximately 58.8 meters in width. Flying under the Liberian flag, it was designed to transport enormous volumes of cargo across some of the busiest trade routes in the world. But this vessel is more than just size. Built with advanced technologies to improve efficiency, enhance performance, and reduce environmental impact, it shows how modern shipping continues to push beyond previous limits. With the ability to carry more than 20,000 TEUs, every voyage becomes a moving network connecting ports, industries, and markets across continents. Imagine watching this giant slowly leave a crowded port. Towering stacks of containers rise above the deck like a floating city before disappearing into open water. Inside are electronics, machinery, clothing, and everyday products moving around the world. And after counting down from number 20 to number 1, one thing becomes clear. These floating giants quietly keep the modern world moving every single day.